Now, we will have a message or a talk or a speech from Dr. Matthew Dedilin Punde. He is a lecturer at the University of Injalala, Freetown. He has sent this message to Mr. Charles ROGERS. He was a former deputy minister, former deputy minister in Sierra Leone. He was a deputy minister of fishery and marine resources. Mr. Charles ROGERS, you are welcome.
Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on existing protocols. I am standing here instead of Dr. Matthew Punde, who, because of traveling constraints, the very issues we'll be talking about here, is not able to be here with us at this moment. So please understand if I do not perform as adequately as Dr. Matthew Punde, but I will try to do justice to the topic, which is strengthening structural transformation through deep policy reforms to produce sub-regional integration and expedite development in Africa. This is the very essence of why we are here as Harakati za Muungano. We do firmly believe that our efforts will require transformation in the way we do business. And that is the only way we think growth and development will come to Africa. We are behind. We are late. Like our president just told you, we have resources, but we are still marginal in our growth and development. And so I want to break the topic a little bit for you so that you will see where I am coming from and probably see where I am going. The key word here is policy reforms. Why do we want policy reforms? We are certain that we have not attained much. Africa is poor. Africa is restricted in its growth and development. And Africa, we can say, is marginalized. And the only way we think we can change this situation is through policy reforms. And why do we need policy reforms? We do acknowledge that there are inequalities. Inequalities in our situations, one in production, both industrial, agricultural, and social. In our endowments, we don't have the same resources all over Africa. In the available resources that we have, both natural, population, education, health, electricity, and even foreign reserves, we have different situations and different scenarios. In populations as well. But this is the Africa that we want to bring together. And so if we have to bring Africa together, we have been thinking of key areas of concern. And some of these key areas of concern that will enhance regional and eventually the whole African developments are these few issues. In ECOWAS, We are all aware that we have a policy which supports free movement of goods and services in West Africa. But hey, my colleague just told us here that there are 50 checkpoints from Ghana to Burkina Faso. Let's allow the dignitaries to take their seats, and then we'll continue. Although we have this policy which should promote free movements of goods and services within West Africa, but we know it is not working. We are concerned that we need to change certain bold policies. One of them should be in the area of immigration. That allows the movement. In the areas of import and exports, why should Ghana import something from China, and when Sierra Leone comes to buy it from Ghana, they have to pay another export or import tax to take it to Sierra Leone? That adds to the value of the commodity. Tariffs are not standard. Every country has their own standard of tariffs and charges for goods and services. We are not allowed to work in our neighboring countries. If you come here, you will be asked to produce a work permit. Migration is a limitation. But when our president was talking to you, he did mention that there can be inequalities in population situations. Some countries have aging population, some countries have youthful populations. And the workforce, we all know, is from the youth. And so therefore, migration is a key issue for global development, and not only for Africa. And so therefore, this should be a key area where we should consider changes in policies. If you come to Ghana or you go to Nigeria, the first thing you buy at the airport is SIM packs. Why? Because you have to call like a different country. Can we be bold enough to say we all have the same telephone lines? Yes, this is one key area of a bold reform that is required to make us unite. There are other services like monetary services. You have to change your money anytime you go across the border. How can we unite, and how can we be integrated into one structure if we have to change monies at every border? And in light of these things, we are saying here that we need strong institutional and governance reforms. And they should be bold and challenging. Because how many of you will accept to use leones? Do you know what is the leone? It's the Sierra Leone money. If you bring it here, it's probably a piece of paper. But indeed, if we all are using the same money, then we become one people. I don't have to change my money when I go across the border. And we think with these strong and governance reviews, we will be able to mitigate corruption. We will enhance transparency. And that alone can earn us a lot of dividend. Social policies generally are different in every country. I'm just taking, for instance, the case study for West Africa. You go across the border, they will tell you you have to wrap your head if you have to go into the public. Or they will have to tell you that you cannot go and buy a SIM card if you don't have a Ghana national card. Regional integration, for me, is what I want to make as a case study here. Africa is huge. How many regions? North, West, East, Central, and South. We are divided into 5 major blocks. But let us start with one single region and see how much we can go. In the past, a few histories I will quote to you There have been bold reforms that have been taken, but never actualized. There was a regional integration free trade area that was established in 2018 and operationalized in 2001. But do we know about it? Is it working anywhere? I want evidence of this. But it was supposed to create the largest free trade area in Africa and in the world and foster investment. But that is still just a story. In 2018, in another one that was established was the tripartite free trade area. This was established also in 2018, but it is still just in the papers. We also had a single African transport market that was launched in 2018, which was to enhance free movement for every African within the African continent. But this is still yet to be actualized. We see the challenges in policies as the major limitation for our union. We have started, for instance, the monetary union for West Africa. I'm not certain of the times, but it's well over 15, 20 years now. And we are still not able to use a single currency in West Africa. That is why I like the topic that was chosen. We said bold reforms. Bold reforms are going to be quite challenging. Bold reforms are not things that we will accept normally. There will be a lot of rejections at the start, but eventually, if we all come together, unite, and enforce these reforms, then certainly we will see some of the changes happening in Africa. My brothers and sisters, it is only through policy reforms that we will be able to unite as one body, which is the objective of Harakati Zamugano. Yes, it is challenging, but I am certain we will be able to do it. Yes, we can do it. Let us have that as a background when we go into all of these reforms and when we go into all of these challenges. But we do realize that for reforms to take place in such a manner, there should be bold sacrifices. Because of our inequalities, it is probably the richer nations that should make more sacrifices for the poorer nations. Because if you tell me to unite my strong currency with a weak currency, I will be losing. But if Africa unites, the picture we saw yesterday, there will be a profit and a gain that will transform Africa into a world power and a significant force for all of our development. I want to thank you. I hope this has made some sense to you and a worthy contribution for this discussion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Another round of applause for him.